Hi, welcome back to Donna's Quilt Studios tutorials. My name's Donna and I'm going to show you today how to do machine applique using a blanket stitch. Here at Donna's Quilt Studio we produce a lot of patterns that are Pacific inspired applique designs. So we're going to start working with these today and I'm going to show you how to work your applique on a nice simple block. So today we're going to be working on a nice simple block, this one here. Right, so let's head over to the machine. So we start by taking our pattern piece, that's our pattern here, and choosing our fabrics. I love to work with batik fabrics when I'm doing applique. They really hold their weave nicely and don't fray. So I've got two contrasting batiks, one for my background, which I've already cut out the background square, and for my pattern I'm going to be using this fabric. Now we're going to take our fusible webbing. Now if you're unfamiliar with fusible webbing, it's got a paper on one side and we've got the webbing, which is a really fine spider webby type gauze on this side. The spider webby side that's going to melt when you iron it, so we're going to trace our pattern onto the paper side of our fusible webbing. And you can see that the fusible webbing is quite fine and you can see through, so you can trace it quite easily. Use a pencil to draw them on. I find it works better on the type of paper that the fusible webbing is backed with. Now you can see that I've already traced mine on. Now I've done mine two different ways. I've traced it out as the pattern is, and then I've also done them individually just to show you the two different ways that we can approach this. Now once it's drawn onto the paper side, we're going to cut the fusible webbing out, but we don't follow on the line. We just really are separating the unit. So this is going to be one unit. And with the little leaves, we'll cut them out individually as well. But remember, not on the line, just around the edges. Right, so we're going to take our fabric and we're going to have the wrong side facing up. So the fusible webbing is going to be placed onto the wrong side of the fabric. Now sometimes, especially with batiks, it's a little bit hard to tell, but you can see this one's a little bit darker on this side. So now we're going to place the fusible webbing side down onto the wrong side of the fabric. So this side that we are ironing on is the paper side. So we place it and then just gently iron it, making sure that the heat is getting through the paper and it's gluing the fusible webbing in place. Now we're going to do the individual ones as well, and I generally just kind of place them on straight of the grain. Just like that. So they are now fixed onto the back of the fabric. Now we're going to cut the shapes out. Now it's probably best just to use scissors, and we're just going to cut them out along the pencil. Now when we do these ones, which is a whole piece, don't cut it right into the middle. Obviously if you cut it right into the middle, they'll all turn out to be individuals. So that's that one all cut out. This obviously is just waste, and I have cut these ones out as well. Right, so now we'll go over to the iron and we'll put them onto our backing square. Now we're going to prep our square before we put our applique on, and that's to find the centre. Because the pattern's going diagonally, we're going to fold it in half diagonally, give it a little light press, open it up, and press again. Now they're going to be our guidelines to where we put the applique. Now we're going to take the paper off the back, and a little trick is I always have the paper side next to my thumb and I just roll it back with my thumb. So you can see how we can roll it back, grab hold of the paper and the fabric. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky, but peel it off. Now we're going to use those guidelines. I know that's a bit hard for you to see there, but there's a nice cross in there for me to work with. And we just centre it up through the middle and on that cross. So the points are right on those little creases. And now we're going to iron it down. Now once it's ironed, it's going to be permanent. So once it's ironed down, you're not going to be able to move it around. There we go. That's that one. Now I'm going to show you how to do the individual ones as well, because sometimes you don't have, you might be using like lots of little bits of fabric. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same little reference points, so a diagonal crease, but I would also cross through the middle as well. Like that. Now you're going to take each unit individually. There we go. And we're going to place the tip in the middle, right in that middle, and along to that outer point, and give it a little press. Don't get too carried away with your pressing, because you still need all your creases in the other corners. Right, so again, into the corner, to the crease. Right, then we'll iron it all out. I actually like to turn it over to this side and give it a really good hard hot press. Right, so there we go. Now we're off to sew. Now we have to select our stitch. So every machine is different, so you need to find the blanket stitch on your machine. And you may need to alter the stitch length and width, so have a little practice, and again it's personal preference. I prefer to use stitch width 2.5 and stitch length 2.5. So once you've sorted out what size you're going to use, make sure you write it down somewhere so you remember for future reference. Last little tip I can give you for machine applique, it really helps if you loosen the top tension off a little bit. That ensures that the top thread is going down through to the bottom of the fabric and gives you a nice look on the top of your stitch. I'm going to take my piece. Now another little tip is don't start in the corner, start along an edge somewhere, especially in a piece like this where it's continuous. So I'm going to start sewing about there. Right, now you can see where the needle has gone down right beside our applique fabric, and that is where we're wanting the outer stitch to go. The trick with blanket stitch is make sure you know where your needle is going next. So you can see I've taken the stitch right up to the corner. Now as I said before, always make sure you know where the next stitch is going. Now mine's going to go sideways, so I'm going to go sideways and back. Now also you can see that I've got my needle stopping in the down position. This makes it a lot easier when you do applique. And I've also got a machine where the foot lifts up automatically. So we're going to turn it, and you would normally like lift your foot up, but mine's gone up automatically. Now we're going to turn, and as I said, where's the stitch going next? It's going to go forward. So we're going to go forwards, over to the side. And then we're off again. So this is a nice gentle curve, so you should just be able to get around carefully just by assisting the fabric through. Don't pull it, because you really want those stitches to be even and aligned. Now here's a really good little tip with this pattern. We're going to go around the edge of the fabric, so we're basically covering the raw edge with that straight stitch. And when we get to here, instead of turning around and working back here, we're going to make it look that we've got 4 individual units. So I'm going to go straight through the middle. And carry on. Always stop, if you need to stop, with your needle in the down position on the outside edge of the fabric. Slowing down, getting to the corner, 1 stitch, 2 stitch. I'm going to go sideways and back, turn it, and then it's going to go forward and over to the side. Stop on the outside edge. Again, we're going to go straight through that middle. Now, coming up to the middle, so what we're going to do is we're going to go beside the stitching that's already there. Carry on. Now we're coming up to the end here. So what we really need to do with these ends is we need to pull them through to the back. So just give it a little tug. Then you can just work it through, pull it through to the back. Sort of pop them out of the way. And now we're going to continue on until we get to the end. Now we don't overlap here because we don't really want it to look like we have started or finished in a spot, so we're going to put it up. And again, we'll pull that thread through to the back. Now once you've pulled the threads through to the back, right, now we've got our 2 sets of ends here. We're going to tie them together in a little knot. Nice firm knot. Anchor it down and just cut those tails off. Just leave a little bit of a tail. There we go. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you've gained some knowledge on how to improve your applique skills. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and we'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.